Greetings, this is Deal, Everquest Rogue video number 5. I'm going to be discussing the Rogue Master Sketch quest. Some prerequisites for this quest include having your skill of at least 250. So make poison needs to be 250 minimally. I'd recommend getting it at least to 275. So that's the first prerequisite. The second prerequisite is you need to have completed the Grandmaster Vial. If you've completed the Grandmaster Assassin Seal, then that will work. And you also need to have completed the Rogue Redemption quest, and you need to have the Burning Rapier. So you need the Burning Rapier and the Grandmaster Assassin Vial. So the first step of the quest is you need to go to Neriac Third Gate Rogue Guild. The guy that you pickpocketed for the epic is right there. So in relation to that, he's this guy right here. His name is Pazin Panox. And you're just going to hail him. And what you're going to say to him, you're going to say, "What dark assassin?" And let's see if he'll talk to me. Dark. Okay, I don't even think he's going to talk to me. You can also say, "I will take care of the problem that has been vexing you." Okay, there you go. So then he says, "Good, an old student of mine who goes by the name of Lon has disgraced this house. His betrayal to Inaruk and Neriac has been unforgivable." He grins. "He must be punished through deceit and trickery. Make him your friend, do as he asks, and pretend to be redeemed. Once you are redeemed, take the cursed blade of Ro and run it through his heart. Bring me his rapier and his head, and I shall show that the task is complete." Okay, so the Burning Rapier I've already done. The guy whose trust you established, his name is Lon the Redeemed, and that was Everquest video number 1 that I did. We have to go and kill him now, so we have to double cross him, take his head to this guy Pazin Panox, and give him the head of Lon the Redeemed and this Burning Rapier, and we'll go from there. Okay, now here is Lon the Redeemed. So this guy, he used to be a rogue, and he feels really guilty for killing people and for stealing from people and making poison. So he's quote-unquote redeemed. And I'm here to say there is no redemption, and I get to take vengeance in the name of Pazin Panox. So let's go ahead and kill him. There you go. Alright, so I lost a lot of Temple of Solusek Ro faction. They're now apprehensive to me, but I got Lon's head. Okay. So, now we're going to take Lon's head and the Burning Rapier back to Pazin Panox. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the Burning Rapier, and here's the head of Lon. Just hand him into him. Now, the Burning Rapier, during the classic P99 era, this is basically the end of your quest. This basically gets you the quest Rogue Redemption gets you this mid-level weapon for rogues. It's decent. Eventually, you move it to your offhand, but then so this quest more or less ends in the P99 era. It picks up again during Planes of Power. So this is a Planes of Power era quest that I'm doing. For people on a TLP server, I'd recommend doing this during the classic era, and just keep the Burning Rapier in your bank until Planes of Power launches. And then that way you can continue with the Master Sketch quest. Alright, so anyways, give Pazin Panox the Burning Rapier and the head of Lon. Alright, So now we have a vein rot sketch. And we'll show you what that does. And you've noticed we've lost some faction with Carson McCabe, Guards Aquanos. So basically we just gained faction with the Dark Elf Rogue Guild Masters. So it's not like it really matters that much. So anyways, we're pretty much done with the Nereak portion of this. So this vein rot sketch is one of 4 sketches that we have to complete. We get the final like book of bindings in the plane of knowledge. We combine the 4 sketches to then make the master sketch. So the second piece, we actually have to go to plane of hate for that, and we have to kill a name and a named abhorrent. It also drops off regular abhorrents as well, but we'll pick it up in the plane of hate. We'll go from there. Okay, so we're in the plane of hate. Here's the zone in. You actually, the way to get up here is you need a Fulligan's Stone of Inaruk, a reagent. So I brought Annulus with me. And you can either have a wizard port you up, but you can also give the reagent in Plane of Tranquility. You can give the reagent to a lady in Plane of Tranquility that will translocate you up into the Plane of Hate. And what you're looking for are abhorrents. And the avatar of abhorrence. The avatar of abhorrent, I believe, has a better drop rate. And what you're looking for is the Shrieking Ash piece. And you know, again, it helps to do this during the classic era because you know, this zone gets cleared a lot more during that era. But any of the Grim Abhorrents or Abhorrents or the Avatar of Abhorrents, any of those have a percentage that will drop the Shrieking Ash piece. And what you need to do is you need to take the Shrieking Ash piece to the Rogue Guildmaster in Hallis. And one of the Rogue Guildmasters is basically... she basically had previously owned a Shrieking Ash piece, which she threw at a bear, and the bear like bit her Shrieking Ash piece in half, and she wants a new one basically. So you give her a new one, and she gives you her section of the sketch. So the Shrieking Ash piece is one of the bottlenecks in this quest. It's either a bottleneck or you've had the Shrieking Ash piece in your inventory from a previous expansion, or you've thrown it out or whatever. And so anyways, it's either a bottleneck or it isn't. And so I'm just going to look for a couple of abhorrents. Let's see here. She saw Annulus. So I'm going to look for a couple of abhorrents here. I don't see the avatar of abhorrents on track. Let me check reverse alpha. Yeah, I don't see an avatar of abhorrents. So anyways, I'm just going to hunt regular abhorrents and just kill them all, and just trek periodically throughout the day, and we'll be back. Yeah, so what I've been doing is I just have Annulus just hone in on the mob and kill him. And let's see if he drops it. Nope. So yeah, basically I put deal, I shroud deal, follow Annulus, and then have Annulus track and look for abhorrents or the avatar of abhorrents. There are other abhorrents here, I think, but yeah, anyways, I'm going to track every single thing, and surprisingly enough, there are actually people here. So I'm going to ask and see if maybe a Shrieking Ash piece is dropped. You never know, that person might be hunting for an ingredient for the Enchanter Epic, and is probably just killing the abhorrents just because he's up. So you never know, just shoot the tell, see what they say. Okay, so here I am on Annulus's account. There's the avatar of abhorrence. He's got a 22-minute spawn timer. So Annulus is going to bug out, and I'm going to do some farming with Annulus while Deal just waits on the avatar's placeholder. And what we're going to do is we're going to farm some poison-making materials while Deal is just sitting on this pH. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm running to Old Cebulus, farming up some poison-making materials for Deal. On my way there, I'm going to check and see if Harbinger Dronic is up on track. He drops the Ixar illusion. Generally, you have to kill a whole bunch of placeholders in order to get him to spawn. So it would be pretty stroke. It would be a stroke of luck if he were just to spawn here on his own without spawning him. And the way you get him to spawn is to, I believe, kill the same things that you need the key to Cebulus for. So by killing them over and over and over again, eventually the Harbinger Dronic will spawn. And he drops the Ixar illusion every time, and that's tradable. That could be given to bards and rogues, or you can sell it to them if you're so inclined. Anyways, I'm going to Cebulus here, and what we're going to hunt while we're there, we're going to hunt for nodding blue lilies and wax flowers. Nodding blue lilies can be used, they're traditionally used for shaman potions, and they're used for their high-level distillates, both their distillate of divine and their distillate of celestial healings, which are respectively, they are an instant heal and a heal over time, also known as a hot or a hot pot. And but for rogues, rogues use nodding blue lilies for an aggro-reducing poison called Dreams of Drusella. And every time that Dreams of Drusella procs, it's a 1200 point aggro reduction. Okay, before I zoned in, we were talking about nodding blue lilies and Dreams of Drusella. Dreams of Drusella is a 1200 point aggro reducer, and that's probably the best aggro reduction poison that rogues get. There's also wax flowers. Now, wax flowers can be used to make Rage of Incapacitation, and Rage of Incapacitation is a 600 point aggro reduction, and that also procs a dexterity debuff on the mob. So, 1200 point aggro reduction here and a 600 point there. The difference really is, I think, nodding blue lilies can be used to make those shaman distillates. And so preferentially, really, nodding blue lilies need to go to shamans, especially guild shamans that are making heal pots, hot pots, which we use on raids. So those really should preferentially go to shamans. But I mean, you can certainly use any excess for your rogue. Rogues do need to watch their threat generation to an extent. They don't really do that much damage compared to, say, a berserker or a monk. Typically, rogues are not as high up in the parse, so their DPS aggro is, with some exceptions, generally is not as high, so they don't really need to watch their threat as much. But I'll just say that there are certain fight mechanics, certain raid encounters, which do require that rogues watch their threat generation. So these can be useful, and they can also raise your skill from 275 to 300. And when you have the rogue master sketch and rogue grandmaster assassin seal, when those are both completed, that number one, it allows you to take a single dose poison with a single charge and take 10 of those and combine them into one multi-dose poison with 10 charges on it. And it also recycles all your advanced poison vials. So that is just an absolute must-have item. And that's why I'm going over these videos, just to really stress, if you're going to do poison making and you're going to take it seriously, you should really have the Grandmaster Assassin Seal and sketch quests completed, because it's a lot harder to raise your skill with materials that you're not recycling. If you're just making, poison vials and then having them eliminated from your inventory with each combine, that's a lot harder because there's a lot more farming you have to do to get that stuff than if you were able to recycle all your ingredients, or at least some of your ingredients. Doesn't look like any names are up, but whatever. Yeah, we discussed green frog log skin. Those can make you look like an old world frog log, and which is a nice small model. You can actually shrink that model down a little bit, which is very good. It's an alchemy item, so you need a shaman to make it for you, or maybe have your own pocket shaman to make it for you. And so small models are very important, especially if you're on raid and you're in a tight corridor. It's very, very important to have a small model. So it's always good to have some green frog log skin. Enchanters can do it for you, but man, enchanters got their work cut out for them. And I don't like shooting a Mattel unless I absolutely have to. Given the fact that they have to haste an entire raid and give clarity to an entire raid, and then manage a pet, and manage what do you call it, mezzing. Some certain raid mechanics require that a whole bunch of mobs have to be mezzed, so it's a lot to ask for all the responsibilities an enchanter has to then ask them to turn you into a frog log. So it's probably just much easier for them if you just were to convert yourself into a frog log. So anyways, what else? I'm just continuing to farm. Looks like I've got a pretty good haul of flowers out of this place so far. This is just one spawn cycle. Keep in mind, if you're farming this place in era, downstairs is always an option. You can always go down to the middle level where you have the illest. Okay, there's the avatar of abhorrence. Let's give him another try. Okay, it looks like I left the Shrieking Ash piece on the avatar. I must have changed my loot settings. Okay, so there's the Shrieking Ash piece right there. We're going to loot it, and then we'll go to Hallis. And I got this nifty little Hallis port right there. So that was nice. Okay, so the quest NPC, the Barbarian quest NPC that you want to turn the Shrieking Ash piece into is this young lady, Yasana McGibbon. So just give her the Shrieking Ash piece. And there's the next Sluggish sketch. So now we have 2 sketches. We're going to get 2 more, and we'll be ready to do the turn-in. Just wanted to give as a little aside, I just got home from work, and I was able to get the hand-in for the Sluggish sketch off the Hallis quest mob right before work. And this was a classic EQ style turn-in. The way that it worked was sitting on the placeholder for several hours, killing time with Annulus, and on my other account, and Annulus is in Old Sepolis hunting poison-making ingredients, while Deal is on the Plane of Hate spawn location, 24-minute spawn location for the Avatar of Abhorrence. So I wait several spawn cycles. Eventually I have to go to work. So I basically turn off my computers, head upstairs, shower, shave, and get ready for work. 5 minutes, 5 minutes before I head out the door, I get a tell from one of my guildmates, and was like, hey, Deal, there's someone shooting me a tell stating that the named mob in the Plane of Hate that you were camping is up. And he's like, A, like, what are you doing in the Plane of Hate? And B, there's the message. And so turns out that while I was in the Plane of Hate, I struck up a conversation with this guy. It's always helps to strike up a conversation with someone that you share a zone with. As he was actually hunting for a different quest NPC. I told him what I was hunting for. He said he'd keep an eye out for the NPC, and it was just a random thing. I was bored while I was in the zone, and he saw my guild tag, shot a tell to one of someone that had the same guild tag that was online. Turns out that he's a friend of mine, and shot me a tell on my cell phone. And so, anyways, my quest mob was still up. I had 5 minutes before I had to get home from work. My quest mob was up, and logged in, killed the avatar of Abhorrence, looted the Shrieking Ash piece, and gated out. And, with, like, I made it to work on time and everything. So I thought that really worked out for the best. And I just thought of myself as like giving the excuse to my work if they asked like why I was late, and I thought of excuses to give them. And the one that kept coming to mind was me saying something to the effect of, well, Dildo needed to grab his Shrieking Ash piece. And I thought of telling my boss that. I actually thought of telling my boss that. So I didn't say that. I was actually on time. I was right on time to work. So anyways, it always works out that way. You're always kind of the last possible moment of getting a quest mob to spawn. And it's right at that moment that he spawns and drops your item. It's crazy how it works that way. So anyways, here I am. We made the run from Hallis to Kelethan, Greater Fate Arc, and you want to find Expin, the Rogue Guildmaster. And what you want to do, get off the bunny rabbit and sneak behind him if you like. Target him and just start pickpocketing him. And what we're wanting to pickpocket is a crumpled up piece of paper. So I'm just going to pickpocket him 2 or 3 times. You can hail him too. Just keep pickpocketing. If he attacks you, you can just escape out of this, but you want to keep pickpocketing him. And you want to loot a crumpled up piece of paper. There it is. There's the crumpled up piece of paper. Okay? And you can't read it or anything. And then just hand it to him. Alright, that's the next, that's the remiss sketch. So that's the next part of the quest. That's pretty easy. So the Shrieking Ash piece, that's definitely the bottleneck in this quest. So there's one more piece, and that's in Akanon, and we'll be going there soon. So we're headed to Akanon. We're headed towards the Rogue Guildmaster to do the final part of the Rogue Master sketch quest. Head all the way over there. I love Akanon. Fittingly enough, I have a whole bunch of these gnome meats, which is great. That makes another small illusion that's used to make these essence of gnomes, which is another nice small illusion, which I think gnomes come pre-shrunk, which is nice, but the Froglok model you can shrink down 1 more, so you get nice and small. I can actually click my shrink clicky now. So there you go, a little bit smaller. Alrighty, I believe I gotta go up some stairs. I think, yeah, okay, so the Rogue Guildmaster is right behind this wall. Go down some stairs. There you go. Gotta love rogues. Alright, so here is the Rogue Guildmaster. Hey, buddy. So, I'm going to look up the thing. I'm going to say, I am willing to make a trade with you for the sketch. Willing to make a trade with you for the sketch. Oh, come on, Hale. So you can say, what about the Dark Assassin? Okay. Alrighty. Perhaps you are willing to make a trade with me for the sketch. I am willing. Fantastic. Combine a rage of incapacitation, wasted flesh, and dreams of Drusella, all within a coffin bottle. You can make me a nice bundle of poisons to play with. Then I will have no need for this sketch. Okay, so you got all that? So what we're going to do is we're going to summon a coffin bottle using the Grandmaster Assassin seal. All right. Okay. There's a coffin bottle. Basically, it's a mortar and pestle. And so we're going to make 3 poisons. We're going to make wasted flesh right there. All right. And I'm going to go to the bank and get these ingredients, and we'll go over it, and I'll be right back. Go ahead and start making these poisons. So the first one is a wasted flesh. Wasted flesh, you need a drop of mercury, you need celestial suspension, you need deep water ink, advanced poison vials, the vein rot sketch, and plague mites. Plague mites are dropped out of Carnor's castle. Deep water inks are dropped out of 2 places. They're dropped out of Plane of Water in the Planes of Power era. They're also dropped out of Kedge Keep, off the mermaids or the seahorses. Just about any mob there drops deep water ink. Drops of mercury drop in the hole, but drops of mercury can also be crafted using make poison. And that's made using gnomish spirits and mercuric ore. Mercuric ore is purchased, as well as gnomish spirits. You can also make gnomish spirits if you really want to do that, but it's probably better just to buy them. So anyways, let's go ahead and make wasted flesh. Okay, let's see here. So that's how drops of mercury are made. Advanced poison vials are made using pottery. And celestial suspension is made using poison making. I can show you how to make that. Celestial suspension is here. That requires celestial essence, which is used in a lot of different recipes, as well as ethereal suspension. Ethereal suspension is purchased, and celestial essence is manufactured. The way that we make celestial essence, that's actually a baking trade skill that's made using the baking skill. And so you have to be a chef in order to make it. And basically what you combine is the solvent of Mar and celestial solvent of Mar and celestial solvent. You can also make celestial essence a whole bunch of other ways, using runes, using words. There's lots of different recipes for it, but the way that you make celestial suspension is combining a celestial essence with a ethereal suspension. Alright, so that same base recipe is used for all of these. So under wasted flesh, the only thing you really need to farm are these plague mites out of Carnor's, and then these deep water inks out of Kedge. As we know, the vein rot sketch was from doing the previous parts of the sketch quest. So let's go ahead and combine. Go ahead and make that. Alright, there's a wasted flesh, and what wasted flesh does, it's a vein rot poison, which is a dot. This burns your target's flesh, causing damage of struck. So this is a damage over time. So the next thing is Rage of Incapacitation. and that requires the sluggish sketch. It also requires wax flower, which we showed that those wax flowers predominantly drop in the ruins of Old Sebulus. You need golden ember powder. Those drop in Plane of Innovation. And then the others are, again, the Drop of Mercury, the Celestial Suspension, and the Advanced Poison Vials. So we'll make one of those. And Rage of Incapacitation. Again, that is a sluggish poison. This is a dexterity debuff, and it reduces hate, 600-point aggro reducer. And then we have Dreams of Drusella, which is here. This requires Twilight Worms. Twilight Worms drop in 2 places. Twilight Worms drop in Akivia Ruins off just about any mob there, with the exception of the hooded guy. So it drops off the worms, and it also drops off the little alien men. So the Twilight Worms drop there, and it requires, actually, that's the only place where Twilight Worms drops, is Akivia Ruins. So that's a Luckland era zone. I think they might drop somewhere else, but I think it's that. I think that's the only place. Nodding Blue Lilies drop in one of 2 places. Those drop in either the Crypt of Decay in the Plains of Power era. They also drop in the Ruins of Old Sebulus. I think the best place to go to get Nodding Blue Lilies is the Ruins of Old Sebulus. So again, Drops of Mercury, Celestial Suspension, and Advanced Poison Vials. Combine that, and there's Dreams of Drusella. Dreams of Drusella is a 1200-point aggro reduction, and all this does is just reduce your aggro. It doesn't do anything else. It's every time it procs, it reduces aggro. And you'll notice, compared to these applied poisons here, like Twisting Disorientation and Susceptible Essence, these don't have a number in the lower left-hand portion of the poison. These do. So these are single-use poisons, which when you click it, it actually appears as a buff on your buff bar. We'll go over that in the next video. But for the sake of this video, let's go ahead and just combine these 3 in a coffin vial. And we'll get this, a bundle of poisons. And this is going to finish off the Rogue Master Sketch quest. We're going to find Mr. Lobel Potstugger, and we're going to give him this bundle of poisons. Yay! Alright, and we got the Deep Resist sketch, or the Dip Resist sketch. Okay, so we have these 4 sketches: the Dip Resist, the Vein Rot, the Sluggish, and the Remiss. We're going to combine these in a box that we get in the Plane of Knowledge. Combine them to make, and which is really a book of bindings, and that makes the Rogue Master Sketch. And let's see where that is. Find. Okay, there it is. There's the Rogue Master Sketch. So I'm going to go to the Plane of Knowledge and show you where the vendor is for that book of bindings. I'm not going to purchase it because I already have my Rogue Master Sketch, but I wanted to get the 4 components to show you. Okay, so what you want to do is head to the Western Trader Building. I believe it's called the Western Trader Building. Find this guy, Mr. Loran Thuleth. Okay, right-click him. And we're going to look for something called a Book of Bindings, or the sketchbook. It's called the sketchbook. Okay, not the Book of Bindings. So, anyways, under lore it says fill this book. You buy it. It's a 4-slot container, and what you're going to do is, I'm just going to pretend the Coffin Poison Vial is the sketchbook. So what you're going to do is you're going to buy it. It costs 2,100 plat. It's quite expensive. So I'm not going to purchase it for 2 reasons. First, because it's expensive, and second, because I already have my Rogue Master Sketch. But you're going to take those four components, put them in the trade skill container, and combine. Then you'll have the Rogue Master Sketch. The Rogue Master sketch can be used to make any poisons that any of these individual sketches can make. So that's the cool thing about doing this quest. It allows you to combine any single-use poison, 10 single-use poisons, into one poison that has 10 charges on it. So it saves you on inventory space pretty dramatically, and it also allows you to recycle advanced poison vials. Gone over that a couple times. So anyways, that's more or less the conclusion of this video. Just want to say for future videos, I'm going to go over what those poisons are to get you from level 275 to level 300 in poison making, where to farm them. We've already kind of touched on them. Some of them would include Rage of Incapacitation, Dreams of Drusella. There are some others that I would recommend using to raise your skill up. So we're going to go over farming locations. We're also going to go over situations in which those poisons can be used in conjunction with applied poisons. So we're going to talk about applied poisons as well as DPS poisons and utility poisons, situations in which they'll be used. And then we're probably going to bring this sort of video series to a close. There's at least one more quest that I plan to do, at least to give you a kind of semi walkthrough, and that's for the Peerless Pestle. That's this item, and that covers the skill modifier. So the best skill modifier in the game that you'll get through the Planes of Power era will be your Grandmaster Assassin Seal. And that'll last you all the way through Prophecy of Ro, in which this will be the best skill modifier in the game. And so I'll cover that in a future video as well. So I think that pretty much covers this video, number 5. And anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Please send me a tell, give me any criticisms or feedback. I appreciate all that. And thanks again. Okay, bye. Vexthorn. What the hell is Vexthorn?